Hello everyone, I just had a great idea and I'm really excited to share it with you. I'm currently on holiday and I thought, why waste time doing nothing when I can use this chance to learn something new? So I've decided to start my own journey and focus on topics related to my studies. And here is the cool part. I'm going to share what I learn with you every day on this channel. Each video will be just a few minutes long, short, simple, and packed with useful information. Whether you're a student like me or just curious to learn something new, could be a great way for us to grow together. If this sounds interesting, join me, subscribe the channel, and let's make a commitment together to stay curious and keep learning. Also, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what topics you'd like to explore and maybe we can learn them together. Let's make this a fun and inspiring experience.
Hello!
So we will make to-do list using React. We can add, delete, or mark as complete an action like you just seen now. So this is gonna be our result. And now we will start by building our React environment. So here we're just gonna write this command line in the CMD. So npm create vite latest my React app. Like you can name it my React app, it's up to you. And now we're gonna wait some time, and here we're gonna choose React. And then JavaScript. Now we can just open our folder we just created, my React app as I named it. You're free to name it the way you want. Oh, error.
Oh no!
Okay, now we're just gonna write npm install. It's gonna take some time, so keep just waiting it. Yeah, in here we're gonna just write npm run dev. We're gonna get our local host, which will we be pasting in our Google, like as you can see. And here is the default view of React. And now we will open our folder in VS Code. And you can see all the components that we have in our React. So these are the default. Yeah, the default views. Now we can just delete all of them because we will start again building our own. So here we will just import our user state from React, and this is a special function called hook that let us create and manage variables that can change, like the user input or a list of tasks. Then we import our CSS file for styling the app. So here I'm just gonna correct const app as like function app, and here we create a functional component named app, which is the main part of our application. This is where we will define the behavior in the user interface. We use state twice. So the first one, the first line is const task input, set task input equal use state. So the first line creates a variable called task input to store the text to the user types. And the second const is tasks, set tasks equal to use state. So this line is like mainly used to create variable tasks to store a list of all tasks in the application. So each use state returns a value and a function to update that value. So here we have a task function. So we will include this code, like we're gonna include a function that we're gonna put a condition in that. So if task input.trim task const new task, we have ID, date plus now, text task input, and finally completed false. Yeah, just entering this data. So I finish this function. So this is the function that adds a task. We check if the input is not empty, then we create a new task object with a unique ID, the text from the input, and a completed flag. We add this task to the existing list using set tasks. Finally, we clear the input field. The user interface, now we're working on the return statement. So here we just added a div, and we added a class name called container, and we added also h1. We add the title, my to-do list. So now we move on to the user interface. Inside the return block, we define the structure of our application using JSX. It's JavaScript XML. It's the extension we're working on. So the main container holds everything we add, a title, and we also have the input section that we included a div class name add task. Here we create a text input and a button to add new tasks. The value of the input is linked to our state variable. On change updates the state whenever we type, and on key press listens to for the enter key to trigger add task. And the add button also calls the same function. So this is our input section. We also have a task list rendering. So we create a section to show all tasks. If the tasks list is empty, we show a message. Otherwise, we loop over each task and display it. As you can see, we just included loop. So we also have a task display plus actions. So here we use dot map. It's to loop through all tasks and show each one. Each task gets a checkbox and a delete button. So the complete button toggles its status. To delete button removes it. We also apply a CSS class called completed when the task is marked done, so we can style it. So we have also the component and finally we close our component and export it. So it can be used in other parts of our React app, especially main.js6. where it gets rendered to the screen. So here we have the toggle complete function and also the delete function. So we start with the toggle complete where it takes tasks ID and flips its completed status like checking or unchecking box. So in the delete task function removes the task from the list by Now that we have built our to-do list logic with React, let's bring it to life with some beautiful styling using plain CSS. I'll walk through the app CSS file line by line so you understand exactly how it shapes the look and feel of our application. So base styles. So we start by styling the body. We give it a light gray background. We remove margins, add some padding around the edges, and apply a clean sans serif font. This sets a nice neutral base for the entire app. Now for the container, we style the main app container. It's centered using margin auto, limited to 500 pixels wide, and given white background with padding. The rounded corners and soft box shadow give it a clean card-like look. The h1 tag, our heading is centered and colored with a nice indigo shade to match the button color. So this helps it stand out and keeps the design consistent. We style the wrapper around the input field and button. So we use display flags to align them side by side, add a small gap between them, and leave a space below. The input field expands to fill available space thanks to flex 1. So it gets internal padding for comfort, a subtle gray border, and rounded corners for soft feel. So this is very simple styling, so you can use more other stylings, more colors, more like you can add images. It's up to you, but I just made it simple for now, so I can ameliorate later. So for the button, has matching indigo background color, white text, and bold font. We keep using the same color. It's like pinkish indigo color. And we remove the border and give it rounded corners to match the input. And we won't forget the pointer, of course. It has to be cursor, so it makes it clickable somehow. So now task list and task, we both gonna style them together. We add more familiar styles. So each task is styled like a mini card, light background. Same color. White and like a subtle border. And padding inside. Border radius. So we use flexbox again. After the padding, margin, button, and the display flex. Space between to space the task, text, and action buttons apart, making it neat and organized. For the completed task style, so here when a task is marked completed, we add a class to strike through the text and change its color to gray. So this gives a clear visual cue that it's done. For the action buttons, we style the small action buttons, the complete and delete buttons inside each task. They get a bit of spacing, smaller font size, and compact padding to keep them tidy. And that's it. With just a bit of CSS, we've transformed our functional React app into a clean, user-friendly to-do list. If this helped you understand how styling works in React apps, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more beginner-friendly projects coming soon. It has to be more wonderful experience and you can learn more. What's it to you? You have a fully working to-do list app built with React. We learned about user state, how to add and delete items, and how to handle user input. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what project we should build next.